Okay, hello. My name is Claudia Falutoiu. I'm Romanian. I live in Maastricht for a little bit more than 1 year. I've recently graduated university here with a Master in Arts and Heritage and a special focus on sound research, sound art, and sound culture. And now I work as a sound curator and project manager with some institutions in Maastricht. From concerts, exhibitions, to different happenings. What I do, I like to refer to as situations for human interaction. And from my experience so far, to any event, adding an acoustic dimension creates more synergy in the process. So my research goes into how can we use it to make the museum more dynamic and the experience with the museum. I will not talk from the position of a sound engineer or of a musician, but that of an event organizer. And as I said, from exhibitions to festivals, I like to do it because I know it creates more social interaction in a world of digital interaction. And I will not be proposing this in the Bonefanten. That's not. A red wine. So to begin with my research, actually it's about the use of soundscapes that I will explain later, and acoustic environments in historical museums, anthropological museums, technical museums. And to talk about soundscapes, we take a look at how sound looks like. And this is a picture done by cymatics. It's the study of vibration and sound. And here you can see the way sound and vibrations change form. And in the same way that this structure changes, in the same way they can influence on our human brain. Sound is about vibration, it's about the space around, the perception within. It organizes in these structures, and the brain represents them in function of codes. And the brain, as we know, and we talked before, it constructs its own version on reality. It's partly based on what is there, and then on how we interpret in function of a system that we learned before. We store perceptual distortions, illusions, and we extract relationship between elements. So this is a soundscape. The idea was that what you heard, it kind of fits with what you see. This is the landscape, and that was the soundscape. And this idea that sound has the potential to communicate ideas. And sometimes the soundscape is natural, then we can have artificial soundscapes created by man-made, like this one. So now that we have kind of made clear what a soundscape is, and that we know that our life is, exists in a world of matter and energy, which is just influenced by vibrations, the discussion of this use of controlled sound, design sound in the context of a museum and of education comes in as legitimate. Sound has this power to change environments and to emphasize situations, and these features should be used in the future organization of a museum. This is one case, is the North American Native Museum in Zurich. It's a museum about Inuit culture, directed mostly for kids, but inside people can interact with the sound chamber where they can listen to the sounds of indigenous Indian people. Okay, so that was for the Indians. Then there's also a big example is a museum, Quai Branly, in Paris, the Museum of World Cultures. They also dedicate a couple of sound chambers. Majority also having a visual dimension where people can hear wedding and funeral acoustics of people that no longer exist anymore, reenacted through memories. This is an example from contemporary art, for example. It's a very interesting exhibition, which you can see once a month in Brussels until next year in spring. So as we can see, the way to display in a museum, it has changed over the years. In 20th century, there's this focus on a visual culture. But nowadays, we all know that art has changed from the material form to an idea, to a system of thoughts. And in a way, adding a sound dimension just can create more ideas. I don't know what. So now the 21st century, it's a bit different. The world we live in is a bit different. So we need new ways to represent it as accurate as possible to a new generation of people that are surrounded by sounds and music from before they were born. And it's them that will represent the future of the museum visitors of the future. And as we were talking, that we know the world through what we see and what we hear. And this use of an acoustic dimension in the display of cultures comes in as mandatory, because we know that our life cannot exist without sound as medium of communication. And in the quest to find a form of disseminating knowledge, the way Matthew Buckingham, an artist who works a lot with the role of social memory in contemporary life, he affirmed that we understand the world through our own experience. So our context of life is a sum of stimulus coming to us, both to our ears and our eyes. So the museum, as a guardian of knowledge, will have to find the best way to disseminate information to a new generation of people connected to their music and their headphones as they are to their family and friends. Experience has to become stronger, more deeper, and there is a need for us to use all senses in understanding a subject. So what is my mission and why am I presenting and doing this research? Is to be a catalyst for a new field of work, that of sound curators, sound architects, sound advisors, people that search the best frequencies and the best atmospheres for people to enjoy knowledge and social interaction. Thank you.